at your home or business by an IRS agent. Don't become paralyzed by fear. Take action now. Call the experts at U.S. Tax Shield for help. Our team of experienced tax attorneys can get you protected, stop collections, and negotiate a permanent settlement with the IRS and state, potentially saving you thousands of dollars. At U.S. Tax Shield, our tax advisors will review your case for free, inform you of your rights, and give you a guaranteed quote. No games and no tricky upsells. That's why we have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau and thousands of satisfied clients. Put an end to your torment. Get protected. Get the Shield. Call U.S. Tax Shield now at 800-299-1855. That's 800-299-1855. 800-299-1855.
Need help with your move? Do you have a last-minute move within a 60-mile radius of McMinnville? Try J&J Labor Force. For only $70, 2 movers will arrive and bring all the equipment they need to move you and your belongings. If you need a truck, rent one from J&J Labor Force at a 10% discount. Last-minute moves are our specialty. J&J Labor Force across from the Tesoro gas station in McMinnville. Call 503-857-3344.
AM 1260 KLYC. Rain likely today. Highs should be in the low 50s. Winds out of the southeast 5 to 10 miles per hour, increasing to up to 25 this afternoon. Could get near an inch of rainfall today. More rain possible tonight with lows down to 36 degrees. Southwest winds up to 20 miles per hour. Off again, on again chance of rain for the next week and a half. And you'll find generally daytime temperatures ranging about 50 degrees. Nighttime lows could dip down to the 30s and the 40s as we look through the next week and a half. It's 44 degrees outside.
Good morning, Ray.
Good morning, Kyle.
You are listening to The Root of It right here on KLYC.
Yes, 1260 on your radio dial. We're Ray and Kyle. We're volunteer master gardeners over at the Extension Office. This is something we do for fun. This is something we do for your information. Go ahead. Feel free to call us at 503-435-1260.
That is right. And we will be here to answer any questions. We've got a nice little rainstorm going here in the valley.
This is an honest-to-God Pineapple Express. If you look at the pictures on the Weather Channel and stuff like that, it's a big yellow cloud that stretches clear out past Hawaii.
It's as though there's Hawaii and it's covered in clouds, and that goes all the way up the Pacific.
Yeah, they got the cute little
right to here,
right to the mouth of the Columbia River here.
Right, it's incredible. So yeah,
this is going to go on all week.
It looks like it. It's just getting fed, and there's no going around.
It's okay.
But this is what we're here for. This is why we're in Oregon. We expect this. This is what's going to feed the ground level and the groundwaters, and give us what we need.
Well, this is I really kind of envy the Bayou Golf Course out there. Every year when it floods and there's not even a flag sticking up, you know that they're getting the most fantastic silting of their greens and their fairways.
I'm so glad that you bring that up, because I just drove by it, and I've been driving by it to come into McMinnville, and it is true. It hasn't had any water on it until this snow melt, and then all of a sudden, right around it, there was a little bit of water 2 days ago, and then yesterday there was a little bit more, and then this morning it is everywhere. The golf course is really getting
Is the whole
filled.
par 3 covered now?
No. There's still you can still see all of the pins, and everything is still up there. But the little valleys in between, they're definitely filled.
That's just lowland flooding.
But it is one of the fun things that you do get to see, just driving out on the highway there.
Yeah, but the rivers are coming up. The North Fork, it's up and bright tan.
It is brown. It is it is dirty looking.
So anyway, that's what's going on outside, and it's going to be going on all week. So just get used to it.
So those water levels are going to grow.
But it's warm.
Well, it's warm in that it isn't 28 degrees anymore. It's not 19 degrees, but it is the perfect mixture of warm. Yeah. And it's 45 degrees right now.
I can dress for
in the
stuff
morning,
over 40.
It's 45 degrees at 9 in the morning.
And
that's
then
pretty good.
This afternoon it's going to be windy
Oh, that's good that we're going to be talking. One of the things that
Yeah.
suffered during this weather storm that we had was my hoop house. And my grapes that were underneath suffered severely because I did not take any precautions whatsoever. So later on, we'll be talking about what we should have done and maybe what we can do next time a severe storm happens upon our greenhouses.
Is the hoop house up against the chicken coop?
No,
Not quite.
it's all out by itself, exposed to everything
good heavens.
that heaven had to offer there. Yeah.
Yeah, this is. You've heard us talk about hoop houses, small hoop houses, cloche-style greenhouses, and for your raised bed in your backyard. And this is one of those things that when we have this wet snow, that you need to go out and beat them with a broom once in a while, or they will just tip over. It usually doesn't hurt them permanently, and it's just the work of resetting the slide guides and putting it back up again. But
it's something that
it's a nuisance.
It's something that happens and people deal with every 5 years. I remember when I first moved here, people talked about past. You remember that snowstorm where all of the houses were down and everybody was buying plastic and blah. Yeah, it happens and you deal with it. But for me, it was on a very small scale, but it seemed extreme at the time.
Well, wind is a really kind of an interesting factor on houses because, of course, it doesn't blow down on them, but it gets into every single vent, port, crack, and can lift up on them.
Yeah, that's right, and we're talking about wind loading on these structures, and whether you're talking about the plastic hoop houses or greenhouses that have the big vents and the open windows so that you can get the best possible air circulation going on. But once that wind gets inside, it's actually twice as strong, and it causes more damage. So when you actually want to, you've got a severe windstorm coming, you obviously want to close every vent and all of your windows.
It's like blowing up a balloon, and it doesn't matter if you got a solid frame redwood glass paned greenhouse out in the backyard, or you got a big chunk of painter's plastic thrown over some white plastic pipe. It can sneak up and do some serious damage to you if you don't. Actually, if you have the put together, easy construct type hoop house, and a storm's coming and it's wintertime, you just take it down.
Just drop it.
Yeah, just lay the pipes down on the ground and roll up the plastic and put it away. You aren't going to use it till May anyway.
Yeah, the problem that
unless you have winter vegetables going in it.
Yeah, the problem that I had is, and it's just the maintenance of the fact that there was a snowstorm coming and I could have easily just gone out and taken the snow off of it, and but I didn't. So the snow then became melty, and then it became rain melted, and it became really heavy, and then it became collapsy.
Yeah, lesson learned.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my poor little baby grapes, they're suffering. And I did get underneath there and see what they were all about, and they had broken branches broken branches there.
Bad,
but the bud structure was still stable. But yeah, you just have to take the snow off of it.
Yeah, I noticed out beside the driveway because I had to shovel out the car for certain reasons, and I stacked all the snow beside the driveway, and I never really thought about my little shrubs that I got there, the lavender and the Woodgelia and the Paris.
You forgot all about all of them?
I forgot about it.
Yeah?
I really did. I just shoveled the snow out of eagerness.
Nice.
Let's put it that way. And so it unmelted. The other day when they first started sticking through, I went, oh, man, I've busted everything.
Oh.
Yeah, because it was all laying flat. I thought, oh, no, this is not good. Mm. So I looked at it this morning, and sure enough, they're starting to raise back up again, so everything's fine.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, the extent of the damage of the snow, I don't know. I haven't really taken a tally of the garden itself. There was a couple of sedum that apparently didn't like the snow, and they just went ahead and turned brown and died.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I wouldn't give up hope on them. Let them go ahead and get through March and see what you got going on. Back to snow loading, though. Do you have any idea how much snow per square foot becomes a nuisance?
No.
It's really a surprisingly small amount.
It is.
Especially once it gets water loaded. Because you think of a gallon of water weighs 8 pounds.
It does.
Or something like that.
No, that's
8 point blah, blah,
blah,
blah.
blah, blah.
Yeah. So if you get a foot of snow, and then it starts to melt down to where it's about 10 inches high, and so you got 2 inches of water in the bottom of it. You're getting up to where you're pretty close to 8-10 pounds per square foot.
Just a small little area. And
Just a small little area.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say this, because when I'm trying to get the snow off of my hoop house, I can't move it. I can't pick it up because it has become so waterlogged itself that it was heavy. And it was over, what you're saying is over a square foot. It felt like it weighed about 8-10 pounds just for a little area like that.
Well, for permanent structures, of course, there's building codes that have to meet, and that's why they specify snow load. You have to be able to do like 100 pounds per square foot in northern Maine.
Right. Nice.
That's a heavy gauge set of rafters.
Right, because they get a heavy amount of snow load there on their structures. Yeah. Not so much here, but if you put your structure built towards Maine standards, I think you'd be okay when we have these once every 5-year snowstorms.
Well, here's this little fact is really kind of interesting to me, because 1 inch of rainwater equivalent will weigh 5.2 pounds per square foot. That kind of surprised me.
That's a lot in a little area, isn't it?
Yeah. Dinner plate size, a little bigger than a dinner plate. So yeah, it can be a real issue, but when you accumulate that, people who have larger greenhouses like 20 by 40s and 40 by 60 or 20 by 60, these are bigger structures, and you can get into hundreds and hundreds and like tons of pressure on a structure, and that's why they fall down, go boom.
Oh, and that's true. You have the ones that are used for agricultural purposes that are hundreds of feet long by hundreds of feet wide, and then the snow just gets right in somewhere maybe you can't reach or anything. So what they do is they have to turn the temperature up inside, somehow get it warm inside so that you don't have that snow accumulating in there.
Yeah.
And so you can actually do that for your small little greenhouse if you're not already having a heater.
I felt kind of sorry for the nursery industry back when we had one of those nasty snowfall things. I think it was when we had about like 16 inches in my driveway. And I was right behind Walmart. And most of the nursery businesses in the whole county area, they lost a lot of plastic. They ended up having to restring greenhouses for 2 months.
That's what people talk about.
Yeah.
Losing all that plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, where does it go?
Hopefully recycled into gate posts.
Yeah, that's the tough thing about those kind of greenhouses, isn't it? You want to take a break?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do one. If you're listening this morning, you got any questions about hoop houses or roses or anything like that, we got notes on all of it.
That's right.
We're golden. Give us a call at 503-435-1260.
You're listening to The Root of It right here on KLYC. On Saturday, March 8th, the Yamhill County Master Gardeners will be hosting Spring into Gardening, an all-day seminar event for gardening basics.
This is the second year for the Spring into Gardening Seminar, an event which is held at the McMinnville High School Auditorium. This year, the topics will include
blueberries,
pruning small fruit plants,
strawberries and raspberries,
my favorite grapes in the home garden,
a growing tomatoes workshop,
a tomato grafting workshop,
and a keeping your garden tools sharp workshop.
And remember, if you're already a Master Gardener, these sessions qualify for Master Gardener recertification credit.
The Yamhill County Master Gardeners Spring into Gardening Seminar on Saturday, March 8th at McMinnville High School at 9 a.m.
Advance tickets
are $30 and $40 the day of the seminar and include admissions and a buffet lunch.
Registration is available now on the web at extension.oregonState.edu/Yamhill.
AM 1260 KLYC, and we do want to thank Recology Northwest Greenlands for being a sponsor of To the Root of It. And we are right now at Recology talking to Nick Olheiser, the supervisor lead here in McMinnville. Nick, thank you for sponsoring the program.
Thank you very much.
So you and I were talking just before we started making this interview, was that the weather's been kind of crazy, but we're going to be heading into spring. What's going on now at Recology?
A lot of new things happening. Spring coming up. Hopefully the weather permits us to have a good Earth Day coming up here in mid-April. We will be having discounts, prizes, site tours, different kind of raffles, and everything for you and your family to come out and hopefully enjoy the weather, enjoy the staff, and get some product for your garden and your yard. So what are you selling right now here in this time of year? We're still selling pretty much all of our in-yard products. It'll range from anywhere from a rock to all the barks. We have soil mixes, the compost. We're still doing the concrete mixing station services. We still have the blower truck services and delivery services pretty much anywhere in the local community, even some of the out communities as well.
What are your prices?
They're going to range from anywhere from about $15 for the half yards all the way up to the $30, $35 range for full yard.
Now, one of the nice things about having Recology here in McMinnville, it's very convenient to come down and get a truckload. Or how small quantities do you sell?
As far as in-yard pickup truckload, we go all the way down to a half yard, and then we go up to however much you want to take at once, and you can come back and make several trips and get as much as you need, or if you're wanting to save a little bit of time, we can go ahead and deliver that right to your doorstep.
And how do they contact you?
Be either through the phone, which is 503-434-1671, or as well, we also have our new website all set up, which is compostoregon.com. It has all of our pricing and on hours as well as our address.
And your hours here at Recology Northwest Greenlands in McMinnville?
It's going to be 8 to 4, Monday through Friday, and then Saturday is 9 to 4.
Talking to Nick Olheiser, the supervisor lead for Recology Northwest Greenlands, sponsor here of To the Root of It on AM 1260 KLYC.
Last year, $1 billion got left behind by people who did their own taxes. $1 billion with a B. 9 zeros, America. $1 billion disaster. 1 billion reasons that your taxes aren't done until they're done with H&R Block. Get your billion back, America.
At H&R Block, we strive to get you every penny you deserve. In a study of self-prepared tax returns, Block Tax Pros found more money for about 1 in 5 people. Each tax situation is different, and not everyone receives a refund.
Brought to you by H&R Block. See what a difference their tax expertise can make. H&R Block in McMinnville, locally owned and operated, located between Papa Murphy's and Rada Paint on Highway 99W.
This is Bruce Huffman from the Hillside Retirement Community. Don't miss the last presentation in our 3-part Brain Wellness series. On March 4th at 6 p.m., Dr. Larry Sherman of OHSU will present From Genes to Brains, a dynamic presentation on how our genes and environment influence who we become. Delicious foods will be served starting at 5:30, so call the McMinnville Senior Center at 503-435-0407 to register, and that's 503-435-0407. And thanks for listening.
The Wallace Bridge Equestrian Proposal for Willamina. What happens now that the U.S. Department of Agriculture has denied an appeal allowing this project to move forward? We're going to discuss this project, what it's all about, what are the issues, and what it means to the economy of Yamhill County. We'll be broadcasting a special morning show from Coyote Joe's in Willamina as we discuss with the proponents of this project just what's going on here. Listen for the show live Monday morning at 7, only on AM 1260 KLYC.
And welcome back to The Root of It right here on KLYC 1260 AM.
This is Ray and Kyle, your local Yamhill County Master Gardeners, and we're just talking gardening this morning. We're not doing any, though. It's wet out.
It's kind of wet out there, and if you get into the garden, it might be a little bit muddy in there.
To your ankle.
Right, that's what it is. It really is that thing.
I remember one year my buddy and I, we tried to take a trailer load of horse manure out in the garden in February.
That doesn't even sound fun. Was it raining while you were dealing with this? No. Okay, good.
It wasn't. We did it the day that it wasn't raining.
Okay.
And we dug the trailer out. I think it was middle of March.
Yeah, and that's what happens.
It just sat there. It wasn't going nowhere.
No, I can walk out into my field and just sink directly in because it was nicely plowed. So everything is really soft, and then I take one step in, it's down.
Yeah. We got some addresses and phone numbers for you folks, though, when you have gardening questions during the week, and we're not handy.
That's right.
You can check in at extension.oregonstate.edu at Yamhill, and there's wonderful access to publications and things there that if you click on publications and it drops down, you just go to that particular section, and you can literally just write into a little search bar, roses, raspberries,
questions are vegetables, winter gardening,
cantaloupe in Oregon.
You know what I've been thinking about is the winter gardening. We were talking about building a winter garden box window in one of our previous shows.
Oh, yeah. Herb garden.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
And we have that up on YouTube. For anybody that would like to remember how to do that or learn how to create an herb garden, it's up on YouTube. I was watching that the other day, and it's nice to think that this show is actually, you can replay it. You go to YouTube and you search KXCI to the root of it. KLYC. I have no idea why
That's in Arizona.
I went back to Arizona for just a brief moment right there. That's always been my biggest fear, too, is like saying the wrong call letter. So I just did that.
KLYC.
KLYC.US. And then you go there. There's a link to the YouTube also there as well.
You can go either place.
But one of the other subjects that we've talked about that was water, moving water away from where we need to. That's also up there.
Yeah.
So good videos. You also have the publications on the website there, extension.oregonstate.edu/Yamhill.
Yeah, if you have to put a French drain in or something like that, there's really neat little schematics and everything.
And now is definitely the time that you would be laying that the plans out for that, because you can see where that water is retaining and needing to be moved away from, and building berms and all of that fun stuff.
We're going to have to put a pipe of another kind in the rental house pretty soon.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, so we're going to have one of those big mud piles in the backyard thing.
Well,
it's just going to happen.
That's what has to happen, doesn't it? Otherwise, you have a mud pile. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's why they invented gravel.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, give us a call, 503-435-1260. I got to restart the tape.
Oh, yeah. I absolutely understand that. One of the things that we were going to get into also is some gardening myths. Because that's always fun to talk about. These are some things that we've discussed in the past, and just things that you probably might not think of otherwise.
Well, like cleaning your tools. We talk about keeping your tools sharp, keeping them clean. It prevents disease being transmitted from plant to plant. It makes them easier to use, and they last longer. I mean, let's face it, a good set of clippers can be $20.
A really good set of clippers can be $100.
That's true too. Ain't none of them hanging in my garage, though.
No, you've got 12 of the other versions.
Yeah, I got green, orange, yellow. Yeah, look for the yellow handles.
Right.
But I do clean them up at the end of the year, and I'd learned a long time ago in the Master Gardener class that bleach was probably, although it's effective sterilizing it does have a tendency to break down the finishes on the blades, and they'll rust faster.
That is true.
So that's one thing that people have promoted, is using a light bleach solution. Well, yeah, it does do the job, but it's more harmful to the tools than it's worth.
Right, because what you're concerned with the bleach is it's getting rid of the viruses that are being transmitted. And we are going to you keep talking about that.
Anyway, but the safer thing to use, and also is a lot cheaper than bleach is just plain rubbing alcohol. And you can buy that by the gallon for, very little expense. And just, save it out in the garage.
It's not corrosive to the metal.
No, it evaporates. That's the beauty. Good morning, caller. Are we there? We almost had a call.
Yeah, we're here.
Oh, wonderful. This is Ray. Who am I talking to?
Mike Weibel.
Oh, good morning, Mike. How you doing this morning?
Pretty good. I've got rhubarb up, and I got daffodils up, and some garlic up. And last year, on my tomatoes, I had yellow spots. Not bottom rot, but like a yellow spotting of the tomato, like a hard lump.
On the fruit itself?
Yeah. I had it on
like
early pearls and Roma tomatoes, too.
You know what scab is on an apple, those little rough round patches that are on apples? Doesn't really hurt the apple, but...
Yeah, I got an apple tree.
Okay, did the spots in the tomatoes look kind of like that, like a rough callous little spot?
No, it was like a little dot, about a 1/4 inch in diameter to 2 3/8.
Huh.
And I went down to Kramer's, and he looked it up, and he said it was a disease.
A viral disease of some type? Tomatoes do get some pretty weird stuff once in a while.
And he said he had some stuff there, but it was like $34 a pint.
Ouch.
So I didn't get it. But he said it could kill the tomato. So I just went and jerked them out and threw everything in there.
That's probably the wisest thing to do, is because did it affect the fruit at all? Did it make them soft or unusable?
It made them unusable. It made them hard.
I'll be darned.
Where the spots was in them, it was just hard. And I tasted one, and it was way off flavor.
Oh, kind of a calcification, maybe.
So it's as though it wasn't developing fully at that area. Is that about right?
Well, they were developed clear to the red stage, and they'd get yellow dots. Not the bottom rot, but just on top and down the sides would be this yellow stuff.
Huh.
I took one to the Oregon state office, and they said, "Oh, it's just bottom rot." And I said, "No, it isn't bottom rot. Well, I know what bottom rot is."
Yeah, that's on one end of the
tomato. Where the bottom turns black on the tomato. Yeah, the flower end.
Yeah.
And I know how to fix that, but I tried lime, I tried bone meal, nothing worked.
So are you thinking that there might be a virus in the soil? Is that what you were being advised?
No, because I have got tomatoes through your food banks.
Yeah.
And even some of them had the yellow spots in them.
So it was something that was going around. How about bug life?
Something in the plant to start with, maybe?
Well, what happens is if there's one way it's transmitted is through various butterflies and ladybugs, and they get disease from another plant on their, and they spread it that way. Is a far more common thing. Aphids are horrible transmitters of disease, rusts and viruses and all kinds of icky things.
Yeah,
that's.
But I didn't have too many butterflies this year.
Okay.
Around, and ladybugs was almost a nip. I did have some, what you call stink bugs.
Okay.
But the stink bug was just around here, and they get on my berries pretty bad. They like berries. But
that is definitely a tough one, because I don't know, the things that are coming to my mind are like some sort of bacterial canker or cat facing.
I forget the name he told me. He looked it up there in a book.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
he told me what it was, and he advised me not to eat them.
Ooh. Yeah.
But that's an icky.
I'll be dadgum.
But it wasn't a virus. He was pretty sure that it wasn't a virus, like necrotic spot.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. It's an icky.
Well, good one.
Huh.
But so I'm going to try them in a different area this year.
That's
and
probably
see if it happens again.
Yeah, just for my own scientific reasoning, I would want you to try them in that area again, just to see if it's replicated or if it was just last year.
Yeah, sacrifice a couple of tomatoes. Get a couple of.
Yeah, I'm moving them to a different area
and
because
then
move
your other growths
2
to
to 4
the
plants.
Right.
That's probably an excellent idea.
I never grew them there before.
Well,
that's what I couldn't figure out. If you grow them there and there and there, then you can get something like that.
Well, there's a lot of research about like you're talking about rotating your crops. Have your leafy vegetables in one spot one year, and rotating maybe corn in there the next year after that, and then something else. Rotate your garden around. And there's a lot of good science that backs that up. But this is that what you got up there? Is bacterial canker?
Well, no. The thing that I'm looking at right now on the web is a necrotic spot, and it has these white or these yellow blistery things on the ends of the tomatoes, and it's kind of also has some veiny looking parts of it. But it's definitely, you've got a red tomato, and then you've got these yellow spots,
hard spots.
Yeah, and that is a virus. So that's why I was concerned if that was the case.
There's really probably
it was a kind of virus,
right?
But it had to come from the plant itself, because I don't think the soil. Whenever you lime a soil, you sweep. And it will actually take away anything that's bad there. Lime will.
Right. Pretty much.
And when you put bone meal in, that stops bottom rot. And this wasn't bottom rot. This was some kind of disease.
Yeah, and the only way to get rid of this one, because it's the virus, is to get rid of the whole plant and just make sure it's all destroyed.
I do have one. What was your name again, sir?
Yeah, it went.
Mike.
It went out to the garbage dump.
Yeah.
That's the best place for it. They know how to take care of that.
Absolutely, and hopefully not to the recycling center. What I would question, though, is where you go.
No, not the recycling center. It went to the dump.
I take it you bought plants that were already, you bought starts, like 4-inch
Yeah,
pots.
I bought starts. I didn't start a seed.
Okay.
I bought them at the co-op. And whoever produced them at the co-op probably had the disease.
You have no idea. I would probably change where I bought them, too.
Well, next year I'm going to buy them at Kramer's. I'm not going to.
Well, come buy them at the Master Gardener plant sale, because they're grown in an absolutely sterile environment by 8 little old ladies that are total fanatics about.
They recognize as soon as the virus.
Where's
really funny.
that at?
Well, and the plant sale is actually coming up at the end of April, and it's going to be at the Yamhill County Fairgrounds.
Right. It's our annual,
okay.
Yeah, it's our annual fundraiser. $1.50 a tomato. They're usually anywhere from 8 to 10 inches tall, but the root systems are unreal.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, unreal. It does sound like something that could have come with the plant.
And that does happen, and because you can't prevent every illness and every sickness from happening, but it is really important to be able to recognize those symptoms, and you knew enough to not eat all of them.
Yeah, just destroy it. Yeah, excellent choice, Mike. Good question, but that's and we thank you for calling, sir.
You're welcome. And it amazed me too, because I wanted to can me some tomatoes and stuff. My wife died last year on my birthday and Mother's Day.
Yeah.
But I still do my own cooking and do all that and canning and stuff.
Yeah, and it is tough when you lose a crop and you're not able to can it. You have all of that planned, and then, well, it's back to the store.
Yeah, back to the.
Well, you know, I bought some out of the. I bought some out of the store that way.
Yeah.
Well, apparently it was something that was going around that was particular to tomatoes.
But now my neighbor grew some and tomatoes, and he didn't have nothing like that.
Yeah,
so he bought them in a different place.
Yeah, yep. I think it's something that came with the plant. There's nothing that just happens once in a while. Well, thank you, Mike, for calling. We appreciate listening. Keep us tuned in, and if you have any other questions, you can also email them to YCMGA.
Why doesn't he just email Ray at totherootofit.com?
That's true too. Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for the tomato question. We're going to jump into a break right now. You've been listening to The Root of It right here on KLYC.
AM 1260 KLYC, To the Root of It, and sponsor for To the Root of It here is Recology Northwest Greenlands, having a facility here in McMinnville. We're talking to Nick Olheiser, the supervisor lead. Now, Recology Northwest Greenlands has undergone a bit of a change in their corporate structure and their name and so on and so forth, but they're still here in McMinnville, still here to provide quality mulch and garden products.
Yeah, absolutely. About 3 years ago, we were purchased by a San Francisco-based company called Recology. Basically, it's just been a rebranding for us in a sense. We've changed a few of our processes that we do here on site. Other than that, everything's the same. We still offer the same services, the same great staff, and the same competitive prices as well.
So if you need something in mulch for your garden, your operation, come down here to Recology. One of the things we're very excited about is April 19th. You're going to have a big event here, and we're going to be a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be our celebration for Earth Day. We do it every year. I think this is our 6th or 7th annual one. We're going to be having discounts. We'll have site tours. We're going to have raffles and drawings. We're giving away free deliveries, everything and anything you could want. Come on out and come visit us and come see what we have going on.
And To the Root of It on April 19th, we'll be coming to you live from Recology, which is just up the road from the radio station. But one of the things we want to do with To the Root of It, as much as possible, take it on location. Obviously, we want to wait till the weather's warm. But April 19th, we'll definitely be here at Recology, Northwest Greenlands, doing a show, and Ray and Kyle will be here talking about the products they have here and how you can use it in your applications.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be out here, like I said. We'll go through. We're going to have a few demonstrations, exhibits, and kind of show you benefits to composting and what it does for your soil, and other benefits that you can have around your yard with it as well.
Now, when people talk about Recology Northwest Greenlands, what do you want them to think of as what you provide or the company?
I want them to realize that we are the new face of composting in a sense. This is kind of where the industry is shifting towards the more organics side of it. And I want us to be the front runners, and I want us to be more involved in the community, and I want them to know all about us when they hear our name.
And where are you located? What are your hours?
2200 Northeast Orchard Avenue here in McMinnville, and hours are going to be 8 to 4 Monday through Friday and 9 to 4 Saturday.
Talking to Nick Olheiser and Recology Northwest Greenlands, the sponsor of To the Root of It, right here on AM 1260 KLYC. Why get in shape? Well, let's talk to some of the folks at Snap Fitness in McMinnville on why they stay in shape and how Snap Fitness helps.
George Brown. Well, I think it's very clean, number one. Number two, they have excellent machines. They have a machine, this one, for older folks like myself, that makes it easy on your feet and legs. And everything's high quality.
Snap Fitness, 24/7 access, modern equipment, and staff to help you get and stay in shape. Right now, when you mention you heard this ad on KLYC, you get a choice of 2 offers. No enrollment fee and 10% off every month for new members, or pay for 3 months and get the 4th month free with the purchase of a $25 access card. It's a great time to sign up if you're transferring from another gym. Hey, try a 7-day trial pass to see if it's a good fit. Call Michael at 503-379-0065, located on Keck Drive next to Albertsons. Snap Fitness. From the really great beer brewed in the room next door, to the tantalizing menus of pulled pork, Reuben, or try the bangers and mash. Local sausage grilled to perfection, served with hand-mashed taters, caramelized onions and peppers. And tomorrow, there may be another surprise on the menu. You've arrived at the Granary District and the Grain Station Brew Works. For lunch, dinner, kick back and watching the game, or enjoying a brew with some friends. You can't beat the unique, historic old barn feeling for taking a break and having a good time. Smell the freshly ground coffee. Enjoy eating meals prepared from the freshest foods. Like Oregon, it's historic, unique, and a fun down-home place to be. Just a stone's throw from downtown at 8th and Alpine in McMinnville. Once you try the Grain Station Brew Works, you'll be back. See you in the barn. Grain Station Brew Works, McMinnville.
And we are back here to the root of it right here on KLYC. I'd like to thank Mike for giving us a call talking about tomatoes. We do have another caller on the line right now, and they are no longer on the line.
Are you there, caller?
No.
No, we lost him. Dad, gummit.
And that caller, if you could just give us a call back, we can put you through. I see the disconnect right there. But talking about the tomatoes that Mike had brought up, it was really something, because we were also talking about myths and busting some misnomers about things like to get sweeter tomatoes, add sugar to the planting hole.
Oh, that probably make the worms happy.
It would make somebody happy, but it definitely wouldn't make your tomatoes any sweeter.
Not really.
And because that's just not how the chemistry works with how sugar is absorbed into the root system. The plant is actually, it's determined by genetics how the sugar is processed, and
right.
It's not that way.
It's the nature of the beast, and that's why there's so many varieties of tomatoes. People need them for saucing, so they want thicker skins and less juice, and they want them for eating on hamburgers, so they want one that's like 6 inches across. Did we get our caller back?
No.
Oh, shoot.
That's okay.
But anyway,
but yeah, so it's the sugar content, and it's not how much you put into the soil.
No.
So did you find a myth that you thought?
Well, yeah, this is one about watering lawns, which is totally irrelevant today.
Completely unnecessary for the next month and a half.
Yeah, for the next 2 weeks anyway.
Right.
But during summertime, the best time to water your lawn is not overnight.
No.
And there's a lot of people that only water at night. But
the reason is because it's not during the hot sun, and so the roots are going to be absorbing in it.
And what it does is it moisturizes the lawn all night for sure. Mm-hmm. But that gives it, especially during the summertime when it's warm at night, that feeds every pathogen that could cause
fungus, the mushrooms,
the red leaf, everything.
Everything is just going to be there.
And actually the best time to water your lawn is starting just a little bit before sunrise. Mm. And I know getting up ain't going to happen at my house, but usually I'm up by 6.
They have timers that they use for those kinds of things if you can't get up that early.
Yeah, just get a little battery-operated timer and put it in the middle of, hook it onto your faucet and hook your hose to it.
So by this token, then what I'm looking at is if we ever did get if we got a heat spell here coming up anytime here soon, then we might see some fungus growing all around us.
Right.
At any point.
And we'll get into that when it comes more time. But
that's right.
That was one that kind of tickled my fancy.
Yeah, I agree.
This is the time, though. This is, President's Day. Just passed.
It'll be on Monday.
It'll be on Monday. Okay,
sure.
Yeah, the day after Valentine's. Anyway, this is the time to get out and prune your rose bush.
Oh, is it?
It is. Everybody been waiting for this time. We've been telling them, don't do it just yet. Now, get out the clippers, give them a good honing, and
I think I might do that today. That's something that I definitely need to do.
Yeah.
I have about 8 bushes, and the stems are just they're about 4 feet tall.
Yeah,
there's no need for them to be that tall. They've got the rose hips still on them. But yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll whack them. But the thing that I always forget about, and some of them are on rootstock, so
exactly.
Don't go too low. And that's something that I'm really aware of, and I'm conscious of it when I'm running around town, because I can see where people have gone too low, and it's this really ugly rose that's the rootstock that's really good for roots, but it's not really a pretty flower. But because they bought it at the store and it was grafted on this rootstock, they cut it too low, and now you're left with that rootstock rose.
Well, Master Gardeners have a rose garden over at the fairgrounds.
Yes.
It's a demonstration garden, and there's probably 18 or 20 roses in there, all different styles. There's little bush roses, there's floribundas, there's tall tree-like things. And if you're curious what your roses should look like, just keep your eye on them. And
drive by the rose garden time and time.
Yep, there's a lady going to take care of them, and they're going to be absolutely perfectly done. There's a guy over by my house, though, that does he does it like right by the book type.
Uh-huh.
So by the end of the summer, he's got these huge bushes. They're like 4 feet tall and 4 feet wide, and just loaded with blossoms. But he takes his down to like about 8 inches tall.
Scary.
And 3 stems. And
really?
That's all he leaves. Everything else he cuts off.
Because that is the scary part about pruning the roses, is going down too far. But it's hard to go down too far if you're staying above the graft line, if you're and otherwise they're gonna you should even start to see those little side buds popping out right now. I know I have on mine, and as long as you leave a few of those exposed,
go down to about 2 inches below above, 2 or 3 buds.
Mm-hmm.
So about 6 inches tall, 6 inches to 10 inches tall max, and just whack them off. Whack your bush.
Yeah, would be really hard to mess it up.
Yeah, roses are extremely, extremely forgiving. So,
because they're cane, that's what those little buds are going to end up being. They're going to end up being, for the most part, the same size as what you're whacking off.
Yeah,
that's what they do.
Now we all got a little bit of snow damage, So if you're looking at a bush and you think it's actually broken and twisted, and you can see the outer shell, the bark of the twig is actually broken open,
mm-hmm.
then you can go ahead and trim it off. But for the most part, most things, they're fairly flexible even in wintertime, and they'll just lay down. That's what I discovered with the Paris. It's not beat up at all. It just looked like heck.
It's because it had all of that snow and everything on it.
Yeah, I stacked about 3 foot of snow on top of it. It probably wasn't the brightest idea I could have come up with.
It's as though the snowstorm just hit all of a sudden. We had no warning to protect our plants.
Yeah, but if you're going to go out and prune your roses, check your clippers, make sure that they're clean and polished and sharpened up, so that it takes a lot of the work out of it. Adult clippers suck.
Right.
And they're just
it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
A waste of wrist, waste of thumb power.
Oh, the twig bends over and gets caught in a blade, and then you got to pry it apart. And
What about you get the cut that goes almost all the way through, except for to the other cambium side, and then it slips in between the clip the blades,
right.
Because they're just far enough apart, and then you could just never get that last part. Don't fight it.
When you pull the twig off, it peels down about 3 inches.
Exactly.
You go, oh, Eric.
Now I've got to cut down to there.
Pretty soon you're down to where the sucker's got a crew top. Nah.
Oh, that's
It's
funny.
better to just leave those alone.
Yeah.
It's like you don't really have to paint them with nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Trees, shrubs, when you cut off a limb, they have a natural process.
Doesn't have to
helps.
look perfect.
It doesn't.
Only in your mind.
Yeah. And it will close that off by building structure underneath where you've damaged it. So that's where the actual protection of the plant is performed. It produces tissue that literally just blocks off the outside influences at that particular point.
It's like our scabbing.
Yeah. I mean, bugs will still dig in it a little bit once in a while, but they only go in as far as the diseased would on the outside. They don't necessarily go into the inner part of the tree. We're going to take a little break. This is KLYC Radio, 1260 on your radio dial. This is To the Root of It with Ray and Kyle.
AM 1260 KLYC. We want to thank Recology Northwest Greenlands for sponsoring To the Root of It. It's because of their financial support makes it possible for us to have this program on the radio. We very, very much appreciate it. Talking to Nick Olheiser, who is the project lead at Recology Northwest Greenlands in McMinnville, there is a shift in the industry towards more organics, more naturals, and not chemicals and pesticides and unnatural fertilizers, but getting back to nature, right?
Exactly, yes. We're trying to get away from the man-made fertilizers that are so often used nowadays, trying to shift more into the organics and trying to educate individuals on the long-term benefits as well as the short-term benefits of organics. It's not good for just a year. It's good for 10 years. It's helping to restructure the soil, and it's not just providing instant nutrients. It's good in every way.
And it's also a lot safer to handle.
Absolutely, yes. It does not have, like you mentioned, the chemicals, the pesticides in it. So, yes, it's completely organic. Everything out here is OMRI listed, and it's good to go and put directly in your soil.
So come out here with your pickup truck. What kind of containers should people come up? Pickup truck, dump truck, what?
We can do pickup truck, dump trucks, trailers, whatever you have. You can also we do 5-gallon bucket sales if you just need something small for just a little in-house garden or backyard garden that you may have. We can do 30-gallon containers. Whatever you have, we'll make sure we meet your needs.
And phone number, do you have a website or a Facebook page?
Yes, we actually just got a brand new website all up and running with our prices as well as our hours and our address, and that's at www.compostoregon.com.
And again, phone number?
503-434-1671.
And don't forget, April 19th is Earth Day here. We're going to be doing To the Root of It live here at Recology Northwest Greenlands in McMinnville, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Us too. Come visit us. We'll have discounts. We'll have raffles, prizes, site tours, exhibits, everything and anything you can think of. We'll be here for you.
What are the hours on Earth Day on the 19th?
It will be 8 to 6 on Saturday.
Well, Nick, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
AM 1260 KLYC, talking to Nick Olheiser, the project lead at Recology Northwest Greenlands in McMinnville, sponsor of To the Root of It on AM 1260 KLYC.
Does knee pain wake you up at night or keep you from doing the activities you enjoy? We can help you. I am Dr. Michael Vesley, and I'm the medical director of the Joint Replacement Institute at Willamette Valley Medical Center. Our program has been awarded the Certificate of Distinction for Knee Replacement Surgery by the Joint Commission. It is gratifying to be able to help people enjoy more active and fulfilling lives. If pain from knee arthritis is limiting you, please call me to schedule a consultation at 503-435-6571.
And welcome back to The Root of It right here on KLYC. It is 9:55. We've got about 5 more minutes left in the show then, right? That's how the math works.
Yep. Well, we got to talk about the Spring into Gardening Seminar coming up March 8th.
Right, for multiple reasons, not just because of the reasons that we've been talking about for the past few weeks, which is it's a great seminar, and there's going to be a ton of information about the backyard gardening, but also because we'll be doing the show live from there.
We're going to do the show live from the Commons there at the high school. We're also going to be live at Earth Day at Recology on April the 19th, I think it is.
You're stretching for numbers for me.
Yep.
Right, because the date that you actually have in front of you for the Spring into Gardening is going to be March 8th.
March 8th.
And the Spring into Gardening seminar that we will be doing the show live from, and we are taking the show on the road more and more often throughout the year, which is going to be pretty exciting. But first stop this year, Spring into Gardening, March 8th, McMinnville High School Auditorium. And it's just a day-long seminar with breakout conferences on what?
Well, this is kind of like part 2. Last year they started out with basic soils and stuff like that, fertilizing, pesticides. This one is going to be about growing small fruits and vegetables in the home garden, specifically berries, grapes, tomatoes.
All of the edible things that every backyard garden
is to get these beautiful things to eat.
Right.
And these are put on by some of the best professors Oregon State has, Bernadine Strict, Neil Bell, and one of our speakers is going to be Vern Nelson, who is a columnist for the Oregonian. He's going to talk about my favorite grapes in the home garden.
Which is a topic after my own heart.
Yeah, see,
actually. And then for April 19th, which is Earth Day, we'll be over at Recology, and we'll have a nice little booth and doing the show live from there. Also,
yes, and there will be a Master Gardener booth there. They'll be doing soil pH testing,
right?
Answering garden questions as well, and we'll be
accepting samples from plant matter that you have questions on. Insects, you can bring in insects that you want identified.
Oh, Recology's got all kinds of stuff going on. There's you can get mulch samples, how to mix various soils and mulches for patio pots versus adding to your garden plot. Really cool information. And
yeah, it's going to be a nice day. And then after that, we'll also have another on-the-road show there at the Yamhill County Master Gardeners plant sale, the annual plant sale. So that will also be exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy spring out here in gardening land, and these are some opportunities you have to really spruce up your garden, spruce up your flower gardens, get your starts, and to our caller, the tomatoes that are grown in the greenhouse are fabulous.
They're extremely fabulous.
Mega producers.
They are the fastest going product. As soon as those doors open and the line that stretches forever, as soon as those people start going in, everybody heads for the tomatoes because everybody wants to just get their hands on it. And 8 varieties or more of the tomatoes.
Oh, there will be like 1,200 of them.
Descriptions of every kind. What does it taste like? What does it look like?
And there will be master gardeners there to answer your questions at the table, so you can turn around and ask anybody in a green apron, practically, which are the best canners, slicers. Just eat them in salad.
And then even sooner, the Spring into Gardening seminar that's going on March 8th, you can get tickets and more information at extension.oregonstate.edu/Yamhill. And but there are actually 2 seminars on tomato growing. There's the tomato growing, and then there's the tomato grafting.
Alan Winter's going to give a talk on growing tomatoes, a workshop, one of the breakout groups.
Mm-hmm.
He's like my garden guru.
Right.
He's my definite go-to person. We may get a chance to do a show from his hoop
invade
garden.
himself and invade him. Invade the Alan.
Patio.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to be doing the tomato talk, and that's another exciting. The grafting one is what's really exciting for me. So we've got those things coming up. Right now, though, we're going to sign off because it is 10 o'clock right here in Yamhill County.
Thank you for listening to The Root of It. This is Ray and Kyle. We'll be back next week, and you all keep your tools sharp.
We play your favorites. KLYC, McMinnville, Forest Grove.
ABC News Now. I'm Daniela Bellotta. Your grocery bill may get more expensive. California's severe drought is forcing farmers to let crops die. President Obama will head there today and tour ravaged fields and orchards.